No? Yes? Okay, there we go. Oh, see, this is not a good preview of what's ahead. But good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Toledo. I'm Candace Harrison, President-elect, and thank you, and I am standing in the gap for our wonderful leader, Scott Henshaw, who work duties called him today. So I'm standing in for him today. So before we get started today, I know we all love to check in. So let's go ahead and take a moment, pull our phones out, and do our check-ins. And if you're seated near a guest, maybe grab one of them and put them in a picture with you too, so we can get excited and showcase our guests that come in along with us. And if you are a guest, checking in gets you points and you can win things. So that's why this is an important part of our program. We'd also like to acknowledge our sponsor, Leadership Toledo this month is our sponsor. So thank you to Rotarians Erica McCallis and Mackenzie Bryant for their support. At this time, I'd like to ask Reverend Gail to please come to the podium and deliver a reflection and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good afternoon, everyone. In my tradition at this time of year, we engage in a time of self-reflection and self-examination. We do that by holding up our values and making sure that those values are actually what our values are meant to be, what we really hold as our values. And then we hold up our behavior and we say, does the behavior that we're engaging in fit the values that are so important to us? We do that every year because we should. Because to be people of integrity, we have to examine ourselves. And we do that in Rotary too. I'm really proud to be a part of a club that has the values that we have: children, the environment, peace, our relationship with one another. We stand for something important. And so it's a good thing every once in a while to check out our behaviors and make sure our behaviors and our values are coming together, because we are people of integrity. And again, I'm proud to be one of you. So let's pray for one another as we work to be the best we can be. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, does anyone have any guest that they would like to introduce? And if so, please come forward to the mic so that you can introduce them and everyone can clearly hear and see who your guest is.
Miss Candace, Rotarians, fellow Rotarians, any pickleball fans in the room? Anybody? I would love to introduce my guest, Brian Mashansky, who is the athletic director at our very own Toledo Pickle Company.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, President-elect Harrison and fellow Rotarians. I am introducing today Shauna Mason, who is Personal Growth Counseling Services Operations Manager. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. I'd like to introduce my mother, Pasker Real Estate Agent and CEO of Par Excel Events, Brenda Pasker Duhart.
Hey, Rotarians and President-elect Harrison, I'd like to introduce Shauna Woody. Two Shaunas in the house today. Shauna Woody, she's Vice President of Operations for Hope Toledo.
Thank you and welcome to all of our guests. At this time, I'd like to invite Membership Chair Zara Collins to join me on stage to give a Membership Committee update. Oh, it's after him.
All right. Thank you, President-elect Harrison. I like saying that. I'm excited about that. Hi, Rotarians. How are you guys doing? Awesome. Okay. So I have fun news and updates. First of all, we have had over, oh, go. I don't want to say the number without like giving. Today we have 1,337 check-ins as of Friday. So give yourselves a round of applause. That's as of March 20th. Our top 12, Mark, of course, with 1,180 points. Carol Sobchak with 840 points. Kimberly Danes with 440 points. Scott Henshaw with 400 points. Kurt Church with 364. And Lisa Anderson with 354. And I have, for some reason, I have gifts for our top 4 after Carol. So that would be Kimberly Danes, Kurt Church, Lisa Anderson, and Whitney Keeler. So come see me. And excuse I made a mistake there. We have a top 100 club. So thank you all for participating. If you're in the top 100 club, you'll see your name on the website. It's coming up. I appreciate all of you guys for participating, checking in, getting your points. It's really amazing to see all of our Rotarians out. And I think if you don't enjoy it, I enjoy seeing on Friday the pictures that come up on my LinkedIn, that come up on my Facebook page. And I know other people, and we get a lot of ask about, well, what is Rotary? What is Rotary's doing? And it's because of your check-ins. Next week, I'm going to be back because our Easter egg hunt is popping off. So there'll be clues that are going into the spoke this week. And on Monday, we will kick off a week of Easter egg hunting. So get excited. And nobody knows except for me and Jackie and our sponsors where these eggs are. So everybody can participate, even the membership committee. So excited about that. And if you are one of my top 4, please come see me because I have limited edition Rotary pins. I have a money clip and I have a challenge coin for you all. So thank you all so much.
Okay, thank you again to Zara. So we also have a grant update. So I'm pleased to introduce Deb Ayers, a Rotarian and president of the Avalon Foundation. Deb is going to provide us with an update on her grant that the organization received from us and just kind of let us know how things are going. So welcome, Deb, to the stage, please.
Thank you. Good morning. So grateful to be here and so grateful for the help that this organization has given the Avalon Foundation. We are an organization that is by kids, for kids. And so in the spirit of that, what I'm going to share with you was written by some of our youth leaders that actually created this program that you funded. For some kids, the hospital is just a visit. It's days, weeks, and sometimes longer. And for children with rare undiagnosed conditions, those days can feel incredibly lonely. That's why KC4K created the CareBox project to bring comfort, connection, and a reminder that somebody cares. KC4K stands for Kids Caring for Kids. With support from the Toledo Rotary grant, youth leaders helped design the first care boxes, choosing items they believed would truly matter to kids spending long days in the hospital. In August 2025, youth met with wellness advisors to discuss what items would be most helpful and comforting for hospitalized children, using their insights to shape the CareBox concept. During fall 2025, the team researched hospital-approved items and best pricing options to ensure the boxes were both meaningful and compliant. Dynamic Dyes Incorporated donated the design and printing of the care boxes, while volunteers from Toledo Rotary participated in the Service Above Self Day to hand make blankets for every box, each one crafted with care and compassion. In December 2025, youth volunteers packed the care boxes and delivered them to Nationwide Children's Hospital, where they began reaching children facing extended hospital stays, undiagnosed or diagnosed with rare conditions. This project is made possible by Toledo Rotary, Dynamic Dyes, and Nationwide Children's Hospital, and together we're bringing comfort and hope one care box at a time. I think the most important thing I would like to share in my pride as leading this organization and being a mentor to the kiddos is that this was a program that was derived and thought of and designed by our youth leaders. And many of them have already had extended stay in hospitals. So they used their own personal experience, shared that vulnerably with others, and then moved that into a program to help other kids like them from their own experience, and got to see this whole thing come to fruition. They're incredibly proud of it, and they are knocking down the doors to find funding to let this pilot program grow bigger. So now we're in collaboration with Nationwide Children's out of Columbus, and we're really excited to see where it goes. So thank you so much for your support.
Okay. So please join me at this time in welcoming our newest members that were just approved at last week's board meeting. Apologies. Lindsay Bond of Tony Pacos, Dean Davis, muralist and art therapist, Douglas Hoblet, the Avalon Foundation, Jenny Lehman, SLI Custom Designs and Apparel, Barbara Ritter of University of Toledo, and Dr. Dion Somerville of Owens Community College. Welcome to all of our new members. So before we move on, I just want to share a little bit about my experience at what is called PETS. PETS is President-Elect's Training Seminar. And it was a wonderful way to get an opportunity to meet people from in the Toledo area, because there are many Rotary clubs within our district that are actually right around us: Perrysburg, Reynolds Corner, Sylvania, and so forth. But it's also an opportunity to learn and grow in Rotary, and meet other Rotarians from across the state, and also across the country, because there were people from all over. Our district leader, our zone leader, I apologize, Brian Hall, who was in our club not long ago, he gave a wonderful talk on the importance of obligation versus opportunity. So seeing this role as an opportunity to serve and not an obligation, and that's just the power of perspective. So that was something that really resonated with me. I'm really excited and energized after my time there. I shared many pictures. As you can see, our Rotaract president, who was actually a pretty big star at the event, because up top you can see where he's up there with 4 other individuals. And after I took that picture, they asked everyone who was under 35 to be seated, and it was 2 of them left. So they were really proud that the under 40 interest in Rotary is really growing, because before that, it was people all the way across the stage. You almost couldn't get everybody in the photo. And then that is president at Perrysburg District, president-elect, and just many other people. But one thing that, outside of everything I learned about how to grow in Rotary and be a great leader for you all, I learned that if you ever need a party host, Carol Sobzak is definitely your go-to woman. And I also learned that past President Dick Wolf is a legend. They do. They love you. So I just wanted to give you guys a little update over my weekend spent learning and growing for you all. And even though that's coming, I'm still honored to serve under our current president's leadership. So with that, I'm going to invite Kevin Mullen, our immediate past president, to introduce today's speaker.
Take a quick moment and just embarrass Candace. I don't know if this has happened at a meeting yet or not, but it's a big deal this week that on Thursday, Candace, along with Ann Ebert, another member of our club, with 6 others, a total of 8 incredible women, are receiving the 2026 YWCA Milestones Award. So congratulations. It's not surprising to see organizations recognize your leadership, Candace winning it for volunteerism. All right, it's my privilege to introduce one of my favorite people in Toledo. Just the easier way to ask this next question is, can I have a show of hands of everyone who has not personally met Wendi Huntley? Okay. All right, so before you leave, you have to come up and say hello. In the next 20 or 30 minutes, you're going to figure out why she's one of my favorite people in the region. She is, without question, the strongest nonprofit leader we have in Northwest Ohio, and her resume, which I'll share in a second, will prove to you why that's the case. As president and CEO of Connecting Kids to Meals, she's been there for 10 years. Wendi has been and is responsible for development, community engagement, marketing, brand management, and expansion initiatives. Connected Kids to Meals provided nearly 600,000 healthy meals to kids last year alone, and has been feeding hungry kids in this community for 24 years. As if that's not enough, she is also an accomplished attorney with over 30 years in corporate litigation, intellectual property, sports, and entertainment law. She started this when she was just 8 years old. She told me to do that math. After working for a large law firm in Columbus, she established her own firm, Spec Group, representing clients across the United States. She is born and raised here in Northwest Ohio, a graduate of Notre Dame Academy. She then went on to play college basketball at that other university in Northwest Ohio, Bowling Green State University. Don't applaud for that. Those of you who don't know, I'm the announcer for Toledo, so I have to say those things. Wendi is an active volunteer in the community and is, I like to say that our community is one of our hardest jobs is to create new awards so that we can present them to Wendi. She has won literally every award available in Northwest Ohio and deservedly so. The 2025 Outstanding Fundraising Professional on National Philanthropy Day from the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Wendy's the recipient of the 2025 Difference Maker Award. In 2023, was inducted into the Notre Dame Academy Hall of Fame for leadership and service. Received the St. Catherine Drexel Award in 2023. Was a member of the 2023 National Cohort for Share Our Strength, No Kid Hungry. Was a Leadership Ohio Class of 2022 Fellow. Wendi is a YWCA of Greater Northwest Ohio's Milestones Award recipient. Among many other accolades, serves on the board of directors for Mercy Health Toledo, Mobile Meals, Hope Toledo. She is, as I said, one of my favorite people in Northwest Ohio, and I'm so privileged to have her joining us here at Toledo Rotary. I'm also excited through my capacity with Lourdes University that Wendi has accepted the responsibility and the role of being the final commencement speaker at Lourdes University. My privilege to introduce my friend, Wendi Huntley.
Well, I'm not sure how to live up to that introduction. Kevin, thank you for that introduction. President-elect Harrison, thank you for the invitation and opportunity to be here today. To my board members and some of our partners, thank you for joining us today to learn a little bit more about this organization called Connecting Kids to Meals. You know, our focus is feeding kids' futures. That's really what we do at Connecting Kids to Meals. And so I thought I would start out by just talking a little bit about food insecurity. What does it mean? It means when someone doesn't know where the next meal is going to come from, or they don't have enough to eat. We've just enjoyed a wonderful lunch today, but there are thousands of kids throughout our community that won't eat again until they go back to school tomorrow. So child food insecurity is something that Connecting Kids to Meals is very, very passionate about, and it's something that we are absolutely wanting to make sure that we address. It's a pervasive problem. 14.5 million kids. That's a big number. But I want to draw your attention to the fact that Lucas County has a real problem going on. 1 out of every 4 kids is food insecure right here in our community. Some more data for you. We've got about 60 to 65,000 kids that qualify for free and reduced meals. Well, Wendi, what does that mean? Well, every year when kids return to school in October, school districts provide their families with income eligibility forms to allow for the district to identify how many kids need that subsidized support in order to eat at school. 60 to 65,000 kids. The Ohio Department of Education and Workforce collects that information, and they issue a report. We just got it a few weeks ago. 75% of our schools and educational institutions right here in Lucas County have at least 50% of the kids that qualify for free or reduced meals. Let that sink in. So what are the impacts? Hungry kids can't learn. Hungry kids can't learn. But guess what? Hungry kids are less likely to graduate from high school. Hungry kids are going to experience higher behavioral issues. Hungry kids are going to have higher stress levels. Hungry kids are going to have increased dental challenges. Hungry kids are going to have health-related challenges like juvenile diabetes, obesity, high cholesterol, etc. We should all be extremely concerned about what's happening with our kids in our community. But that's where Connecting Kids to Meals comes in. Our mission, really, we're fighting this. We're fighting child food insecurity. And as Kevin alluded to in the opening, we've been doing this work for 24 years. And we've served just under 600,000 meals just last year. Really proud of that, but the reality is we're only reaching about 17,000 of those kids that stand in need of help. Our programs, we really focus in on out of school time. We know that kids are getting their breakfast and their lunch at school, so we want to be there when they're not at school. We're focused on our after school meal program. That happens and is going on right now during the academic year. We're serving anywhere between 22 and 2,500 meals. Then we jump into summer when so many more of our kiddos are vulnerable because they don't even have the school meals to rely on. For we have about 25% of our families that are struggling in Lucas County. And so when summertime comes, our numbers escalate. We have between 140 to 150 partner sites doing around 5,000 to 6,000 meals a day. I consistently am like, I don't even know how my staff does it. I'm so proud of them, but they are so incredibly dedicated. And I want to give a shout out to them because this work doesn't even start without them. And then we complement that with our weekend bag program. This gives us a chance to engage with our community and to give kids snacks, healthy snacks, so that when they're on their holiday breaks or they're on the weekends, they have something healthy to reach for. We have about 220 partners, with some of them represented here today. Just really proud of the collaborative efforts that we have going on. But I want to give you a peek inside of what goes on, how we do this every single day. Come on in. Welcome. Welcome to Connecting Kids to Meals. This is our warehouse. We're going to just walk you through a little bit of what we do here at Connecting Kids to Meals. We're going to show you some of the secret sauce. But this is our warehouse. This is where everything happens. This is where all of our employees, our amazing employees from right here in our community, come in every day to make sure that kids have access to healthy meals. So let's start in the kitchen. This is our kitchen. Here's where our cold team is putting together all the milk. So we meet and we exceed our USDA requirements. Then we have our hot team. Our cooks are in this area and they are putting together the hot components of the meals every day using either our ovens over here or our steamers to make sure that our kiddos are getting very, very yummy, yummy meals every single day. So we've got our hot component, we've got our cold component. Let's go check out our shelf-stable production team and see what they're up to. We are walking through our $2.8 million state-of-the-art kitchen. that allows for us to actually put all of these things together. So we're able to transport our hot meals with our Cambros that are right here, and then we use coolers to actually transport the cold items. Everything is temperature sensitive, so we have to make sure that our meals are meeting not just our nutrition requirements, but also that they're staying hot and staying cold at the proper temperatures. We're heavily regulated, and so we have a lot of rules and regulations with which we must comply. Let's go. After the hot and cold items are put together, our production team is putting together all of our shelf-stable items. So every single day we have a menu, a specific menu every day, and what we put together are all the hot items, and then we put together all of the ancillary items. This is where all the food comes in, and we have deliveries every day coming in, whether it's milk, whether it's chips, whole grain items, snacks, whatever. We have stuff coming in here every single day. And then just like in usual fashion, we have volunteers that come in and help us today. We have our wonderful folks from Jute Mode that are in here helping us to actually pack the meals. And this is how everything comes together prior to going out into our delivery vans to be delivered to sites, or some of our partners come and get these meals. There's also some wonderful paperwork that goes along with all this stuff. So my team is amazing. You've seen some of my production team. Now we also have our front office team. All of our folks are working together to make sure that all of the pieces and parts come together at the right time, go out of this facility into our delivery vans, and then out to the site so that everyone has time to properly prepare the meals for the kiddos. So you might be wondering, thank you. You might be wondering, so what do you serve? It's a wide variety of things, 3-week menu. We survey our kids and find out what they like all the time, and we try to incorporate some of those things into our menus, but we're required under the USDA programs that we operate to make sure every meal has a protein. We have fruits and vegetables. We have whole grains, milk. All of these requirements have to take place in every meal every single day. So I tell folks when they visit and when they do tours with us that we're kind of like the Amazon of food. We have to get the right number of meals to the right location on the right day, because everybody doesn't do programming every day, at the right time, at the right temperature. And so we're juggling these things every single day to make sure that thousands of kids in our community get fed. We're incredibly proud of our partners that we have. We have over 220 partners.
My favorite thing to do.
So let me go back. Let's hear from one of our kids.
My favorite thing to do at Boys and Girls Club is draw in the art room.
Awesome. Are you a good artist? What do you like
I
to
think
draw?
so. I like to draw just like people. I don't really have like any specific things, just like regular people.
What was for lunch today?
Burritos with Tostito chips, and there were diced pears.
Was it good? What did you like the best?
The burrito.
Were you hungry after school?
Very. It's nice that you can get dinner right after you go to school, because our lunch is at 1 o'clock, so we don't get late, and we only get 30 minutes to eat. So it's nice having like a little dinner after. Thank you for the delicious food.
From the mouth of babes, right? So we have over 220 partners and collaborative efforts afoot. And so this is just a sampling of some of our partners. For those that don't know, we have partners all throughout the region. Our footprint actually reaches as far out as North Baltimore, Bowling Green, Fostoria, Fremont, Upper Sandusky, and outer areas of Greater Toledo. And so we're really proud of the fact that we are fighting child food insecurity right here at home, but we're also doing it in our area. One of the things that I will raise for you is that folks are like, hey, we want you to bring the program over to our area. The reality is we can't take the program everywhere that we want to. The program can only be operated in schools or near schools that have at least 50% of the kids that qualify for free reduced meals. So that takes us back to that data point we talked about earlier with 75% of our buildings, but that still leaves 25% of our buildings. And so some of our school districts, such as Maumee, Sylvania, Springfield Township, they have school buildings where there's about 45% of the kids that qualify for free and reduced meals, but we can't bring our program there because it doesn't meet the minimum eligibility requirements. So it's a little bit different than food banks. It's very different than food pantries. Our work is very similar to what the schools are doing every day. And so we have stringent requirements with which we have to comply, heavy regulations. And so when we think about it, we're running USDA programs, but the state oversees everything that we're doing from a programmatic perspective. In fact, we're always coming into or coming out of an audit around our office is the running joke at this point. But we have other regulations that we have to comply with. We are falling under the jurisdiction of the Ohio Department of Agriculture. So we have an inspector in our kitchen every day watching what we're doing, how we're handling food, making sure that we're complying with food safety guidelines. In addition to that, we just had a lovely visit from the USDA. One of our regional supervisors dropped in to conduct an inspection. And so those are unannounced. And so we're always trying to make sure that we're doing things the right way because we don't know who's going to come in order to do an inspection. We have also, because of our footprint, we have to also work with our local county health and fire departments. And so in all of those counties where our work is being done, we also have to make sure that we're providing a safe place for the kids through our partnerships. And so we do that, and we're able to provide that information to the state of Ohio. How are we funded? We are 60% reliant on USDA reimbursements. What this means is when we're able to serve a meal to a kid, there is a set amount of money that USDA has already indicated that they're going to give us for each meal served. But here's the trick. If we send 50 meals to the Boys and Girls Club Homer Hannum on Detroit Avenue and they serve 30, guess what? We have to eat the cost of 20 meals because they weren't served. We don't get the reimbursement support for those. And even for the 30 meals that we do serve, it doesn't cover the full cost. We're left with about $1.80 to $2 per meal that we have to cover. Enter our corporate partners, our foundations, our individuals, all of the generous folks who are at the federal, state, and local levels who help us to do this work every single day. We're grateful. We rely on our contributors. We can't do this work, number one, without our partner sites, our partner organizations, but we also can't do this work without our funders who help us to make sure that we can cover all of the costs of the hundreds of thousands of meals that go out from Connecting Kids to Meals on a daily basis. So let's hear from some of those folks.
During the pandemic, I was part of helping build a lot of meal kits that went out to a lot of kids through our library system with Connecting Kids to Meals. And I promise you that those children would not have been able to eat and thrive through the pandemic if it weren't for this organization. They do such important work. They have a great way of pulling the community together to rally and do the hard work.
Our kids, at the end of the day, not just get help from the Boys and Girls Clubs, but then they get a dinner and they get a snack and they're well fed. So when they go home at the end of the day, homework's done, they learn life skills, and they've got a Connecting Kids to Meals dinner in their belly. What more could the community want?
And I'm really, really thrilled to support Connecting Kids to Meals, an organization that serves this community and, most importantly, ensures that every child can get access to a high-quality, nutritious meal.
I didn't realize how many kids go hungry and don't have a snack or lunch or breakfast. And meeting Wendi has really opened my eyes to that. And I want to be a part of making sure kids have food in their bellies because I don't want them to be hangry as some of us can get.
They do such impactful work in our community with the kids and ensuring that these kids are fed. That's very, very important. That's a basic need of our children in the community. And it's so gratifying that Connected Kids actually supports these kids throughout Northwest Ohio.
And hunger is one of the biggest areas of opportunity that we have. 1 in 4 children in this area suffer from food insecurity. And so connecting kids to meals is that vital, that crucial lifeline for them to be able to provide those healthy, hot meals to them on an everyday basis.
And there is nothing more important in my mind. When you talk about investing in a community, you have to invest in your youth. And kids cannot learn, they cannot sleep, they can't do anything if they're hungry. And our kids are hungry. So we are here to help. This is so important, and we're going to continue to help. We love connecting kids to meals and everything they're doing.
Some of our partners, some of our funders. So there are additional benefits. Yes, there's more. Connecting kids to meals obviously creates jobs. We're responsible for, really, I think we're the favorite spot for retirees. They don't want to work all week and all day every week. And so they come to us and they are able to work a few hours a day and to do something that is meaningful to them. And so we're the #1 destination for our retirees, but we have about 70 employees we employ year round. And then we add about 25 additional folks during the actual summer months. And we're able to keep that number to a minimum because we also partner with Harbor and have about 18 to 20 summer youth that work with us and learn about work habits and work ethic throughout the summer. And so we're excited about that partnership. We're going into our 5th year with them, and we've actually hired some of the young people who started in that program and had an opportunity to secure a job with Connecting Kids to Meals. And then volunteerism. It's such a cornerstone of what we do. We engage with about 1,000 folks a year, both at our warehouse, and then we now have an opportunity with our box truck to actually take the experience to our partner. And so I know we've done a packing event with Toledo Rotary. We've also done packing events with many of you in this room, and we really appreciate our opportunity to give volunteers and residents in our community a chance to invest their time and their talent and their treasure. So let's hear from one of our local retirees from the Toledo Refining Company who stays more active every day than ever.
So when the pandemic started in 2020, I decided, I called them and I said, you guys need help? And they said, yeah.
Once the pandemic hit, he's been all in for several days a week, several hours a day. He's just been amazing.
If you're thinking about retirement, you got to find something to do. You know, you have to find something to do with your time. You know, something that motivates you. They really provide a vital thing for these kids that keep the kids going and keep them going to school and keep them learning.
Not only is he a man that leads with his heart, he's such a giver, and he's a hard worker. If he says he's going to be here, he's going to be here.
It's good to know that people appreciate what you do. You know, you don't ask for that. You know, you don't do it for that reason. But, you know, I also know that the employees here appreciate it.
John Eisenhart. So how can you get involved? I know that's what you want to do at this point. There's so many different ways to do that. So obviously share what you've learned today. I'm highly confident that there was something that you learned today that you didn't know before you walked through those doors. Like and share and follow and do all those fun things on social media. Help us to get the word out about what we're doing, the issue in our community, but also the solution that we're bringing to bear. We are we're the largest provider of meals to kids during out-of-school time in all of Northwest Ohio, and we're the 2nd largest in the entire state of Ohio. You can also sign up to volunteer at the warehouse or at some of our events. Just visit our website. We have slots and opportunities for you to do that. And then also, obviously, a monetary donation would help us to feed kids in and around our community, and we would be so grateful for that. So thank you for your attention today. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the opportunity to serve the kids of Northwest Ohio. I'll take any questions that you might have.
So much, Wendi, for offering your insight and enlightening us as to the needs of our community's kids. I have a question regarding the effect on your organization that the revoking of so many SNAP benefits, how is that affecting our kids in our community and
You
your
can't see these
organization?
bags under these eyes. So we are very fortunate at Connecting Kids to Meals. Thank you for the question. We're very fortunate at Connecting Kids to Meals because our stream of funding through USDA has been confirmed. And so we have our funding through September 30th. But that's not the challenge. The challenge is that more and more kids are starting to show up at our meal sites. We didn't budget for that. We didn't plan for that. And so where we're feeling the impact is actually the ripple effect of some of the reductions that have been taking place. So just, continue to keep us in prayer. We're going to continue to work as hard as we can, get the word out and make sure the folks know that kiddos can come to any of our sites to actually get a hot, healthy meal. And we'll do everything that we can do for as long as we can do it.
Miss Wendy, first of all, I think we should start a Wendy Huntley fan club. I don't mind being the president of that. I will volunteer. So thank you so much for sharing all the wonderful work that you all do. First, the question I have is there an age range to where you say at 12 years old, you have to stop serving, at 15, you have to stop, at 18? Is there a specific age range of service for this?
Thank you. Our age range is 18 and under. So we see, by and large, we survey our kids every year for every single program that we're doing. And so our average age kid is 9.5. But we serve kids from 18 and under. And we do see teenagers at our, in particular, TPS high school locations, definitely enjoying the meal, taking advantage of it. We work with our coaches in our areas to make sure that the kids know that they can come and get a meal. The beauty of this program is once a site qualifies, all of the kids can come and get a meal. And so we work with all of the stakeholders that are in and around doing work in the particular location to make sure that all kids know that they can come and get a hot, healthy meal.
And then my second question is more of a curiosity of if you can expand on, I know that you all have a partnership with the library system, particularly for the summer when these kids aren't in school and they truly, without other support services, would not have meals. Could you just paint the picture for the folks in the room of what that partnership looks like?
Yeah, we have so many vitally important partnerships. I think the library is one of those. And so we're at virtually all of the library locations. But again, the eligibility keeps us out of a few of the outlying library locations. But we're there even now after school meals around 3:30. And then when the summer months hit, we're actually providing meals about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. One of the curious things is that we are looking at mapping and looking at ways in which we can make sure that we're not, number one, duplicating any services, although we provide about 97% of the meals that kids get during out of school time. But we don't want to step on anyone's toes or duplicate the efforts. But we are always mindful about where we're locating our sites because the state of Ohio will not approve a meal site if it's close to another meal site. So we have to jump through a few hoops in order to make sure that these sites are all in good locations where kids can access them and that they don't have to worry about transportation. Obviously, they don't have to worry about the cost, but we also are always looking at transportation issues as well to make sure that kids can get the meals right where they already are.
Thank you, Wendy, and thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
I would love to know, what is your vision? So as you look ahead, what do you see?
So in a perfect world, we don't have hungry kids. We shouldn't have hungry kids. So my focus is really on building a process so that we can continue to do this work, but we're also working with community partners to help families so that they can gain financial literacy. There are reading literacy programs we partner with. We want to partner with others who are helping the family as a whole because we know that the kids are not going to be the ones that'll make the difference. It's truly going to happen through the parents and the families. And so we're working with others to try and move the needle on that issue. But in a perfect world, we have a community-wide approach that really addresses all of these critical issues that are plaguing families in our community and ultimately plaguing the kids in our community because we're keeping, because with some of these issues, some of our future leaders are not going to become future leaders because they're hungry or they're unhoused or they're challenged with graduation. We have to make sure that we're wrapping as much as we can around families and kids in our community in order to position our kids for the greatest success possible. That's my hope. That's my vision. That's my prayer. I don't see anybody else in the mic, so I'm going. Thank you.
Before I say what we always say when we close out, I just want to share a full circle moment since we had a few minutes. Kevin mentioned earlier that yes, I am in fact receiving the Milestone Award for volunteerism, which is service. My very first board I ever served on was with Wendi under another organization that she worked at. And I met her at a board fair hosted by Leadership Toledo. And she was set up there and she asked me to come and learn more about her organization at the time, and I joined her board. So I just want to let you know how long she's been at the work, but also how long people like me have been looking up to her and her leadership. So thank you. So with that being said, we have a gift for you, and it is written by one of our past presidents, Clint Mock, called Historical Tales of Toledo, and we will also make a donation to the Polio Plus Foundation in your name. So thank you so much for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is almost my time, your guest host for today. But we do have one meeting. So first, I'm ahead of the schedule. Next week, our meeting presenter is Mike Korlewski, who will be talking to us about First Solar. And then after this meeting today, there is one meeting, which is the Peace Committee, which will meet in Summit B. So with that, I would like to adjourn the meeting and give you guys about 8 minutes back to your day.